Where did you find these items? Oh, I see. What can you tell me about these items? Oh. Yes, that's correct. These three paintings, or copies of paintings, were part of a calendar that was given out to sailors by maritime banks and maritime unions. These copies of these paintings were just pasted onto the calendar, and then, of course, you'd have the painting, and then the month, and probably even gave a short history of the painting or ship. Do you mind if I tell you a little more about each one? Okay. Let's start with the first one. This painting was done by an artist by the name of Gordon Grant. He was an American painter, born in 1875 and died in 1962. He mainly focused on maritime art, such as this one that he did. You can find his work in museums in New York, Chicago, and I do believe Washington, D.C. So it's definitely worth checking out. These are very fine paintings. Do you know anything about this ship? Okay. Now this here is the Uss Constellation. It was a 36-gun frigate, and it was constructed in 1854, launched in August 26th of 1854, decommissioned in 1933, and served its purposes in the Civil War and parts of World War II. And as you can see with this painting, Mr. Grant used many different colors. He used the blacks, the greens, the light blues, whites, and even with the ocean here, he did a fine job with detailing the waves. And then we go to the sky. In the sky, he did a fairly good job with the clouds. You can see some seagulls in the sky that he added. In the background we have 1, 2, 3 ships. And then we have the USS Constellation right here. And there was definitely some fine detailing with this. As you can see, some ropes. You can see the wrinkles in the sails. We've got a flag here. They even added the cannon slots. I can't tell if there's 36 there, but let us check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16. It's a little off. But he was even detailed enough to add a couple lifeboats on deck. So, in all, this is a very nice piece. Let's move on to the second painting. This painting was done by an artist named Charles Robert Patterson. And Charles Robert Patterson was an American painter, born in 1878 and died in 1958. Also focused on maritime art. And author Richard McKay once wrote of Patterson that only those who brave the dangers of the sea and know its mysteries realize the beauty and grandeur of the sea and make us see the ships of old in all their glory. So, as you can tell, Mr. Patterson, everybody knew that he was into maritime themed issues. What can you tell me about this ship? Well, this ship here is the packet Savannah. It was an auxiliary steamship in 1819. It was constructed in 1818. It was launched in 1819. And it was decommissioned by, it wrecked off the coast of Long Island, New York in 1821 and was a total loss. But during its service, it was used as a transatlantic service, which means that it transported goods and some people. And with Patterson, unlike Grant, Patterson was a little more detailed with his painting. As you can see in this painting, there's a lot more fine detailing. The ocean looks more realistic, but uses mostly the same colors. There's a little bit of browns in there, with the blacks, greens, blues, and whites. And I think I even see some yellows. And if you look here, right here in this section, you'll see the reflection of the sun. It's in this section right here. Here's some right here. And just like Grant, he added some seagulls. We've got 2 ships, plus the packet Savannah, which we get to this. Let's start with this guy, actually. The clouds with Patterson are a lot more realistic than the clouds with Grant. Here he has puffy clouds, he has straight clouds. So, he's definitely more detailed than Grant. And with the ship itself, you can see all the little fine working parts. With the paddles here, the ropes and where they're tied, the anchor, and the sails are more detailed. And back here you can see the line of maritime flags. I think, yes, there's even some sailors. There's one up here in the crow's nest. There's 2 sailors right here in the back with just their heads popping up. but definitely find more detailed than Grant's. And then we come to our last piece that you brought in. This here was a painting done by Oswald Longfield Brett, who was an Australian painter, born 1921 till present. Also focused on maritime art. His work is highly regarded in Australia and America. You know anything about this ship? Okay, well, this here is the U.S. frigate Congress. That would be this one right here. And it was painted while in New York Harbor in 1853. And back here, you can actually see New York Harbor right here. Very finely detailed. You can see all the small buildings, churches, etc. The ship was constructed in 1841. It was launched August 16th, 1841, and decommissioned. It sunk in battle during the Civil War. March 8th, 1862, it was sunk in battle. It was used during the Civil War and the American-Mexican War. But, back to the painting. With Mr. Brett here, we have even more fine detailing than the other two artists. And here, with the ripples, he has the sun. It glares right off the ripples here. And even the ripples within are finely detailed. The clouds are a lot more detailed. These are those real big puffy clouds with puffs within puffs. Again, we have the small buildings of New York Harbor in the background. We have a little steamship, smoke coming out. We have, so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ships in the background. And with each of these ships, the fine detailing of every little issue with the ship was added. Within the U.S. Congress, you can see there's even windows in the back. The cannon slots are finely detailed. All the ropes, the masts, the sails, all finely detailed. All the flags. So all in all, these are very nice pieces. Unfortunately, the bad news is they're copies. Do you have any idea of the value of these items? Well, since they are copies and not the original paintings, in today's market, I would value these items at around, unfortunately, $5 to $10 each in the frames. But thank you for bringing them in and sharing. You have a nice day.